Hello everyone and welcome to Email Marketing, turning prospects into customers through email marketing. So what is email marketing? It's actually a form of direct marketing, or some people call it direct response marketing, just because your customers, your prospective customers are invited to act. Direct response marketing, which uses email and electronic means to deliver commercial messages to your audience. Today, email marketing is extremely cost effective. Doesn't cost much money to send an email. It's highly targeted. It can be sent to any group of people or any individual. It can be customized and personalized, and actually it is completely measurable, which is a huge advantage compared to other forms of online or particularly traditional marketing. So having said that, which one is really more important? This is a question for you. Social media or email marketing? Now we live in the age of Web 2.0. We live in the age of social media, right? But is email marketing less important or more important than social media? Well, actually, if you remember the whole marketing approach, you remember that marketing consists of lots of elements like a puzzle or like a symphony orchestra, and each element, each instrument matters, and it helps create the overall powerful effect. So really, social media and email marketing have to be combined. Social media is mostly like your PR department in the online world, and email marketing is your online sales force. So social media helps you create attention and interest. In other words, helps you create pull, interest to learn more. And email marketing helps you push your product, helps you push your sales. Social media helps with branding, and email marketing helps you to convert the prospective customer into the real customer. And if you still remember the AIDA advertising model or communication model, attention, interest, desire, and action, if you think of that, social media helps you mostly create attention and interest, and email marketing does help you with attention and interest, but it is mostly focused on desire to buy and prompting people to act now. Today you will be learning about 9 tips for creating effective email marketing campaigns. So tip number 1, develop an email marketing plan. Whatever you do, always start with a plan. You have to define, for example, what your objectives are. Maybe your objective could be to send at least one message to each and every of your customers at least once a month. Or your objective could be to have 50 sales a month via email. You also need to define who do you plan to email to. Maybe you will create several groups of people and send them different messages. How often and when will you email? Did you know that the best day to send email messages is, what do you think? Well, it's actually Tuesday and Wednesday. According to research, it looks like people are really too busy on Monday to deal with their emails, and on Friday and over the weekend they're kind of too relaxed. So it turns out that in most cases it's best to send those emails on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Well, this is just a general research. You have to do your own research. But start with some decision: how often and when will you email? What type of information are you going to send? And what email service or technology are you going to use? That's something that we will talk about in a few moments. Who will be responsible for your email campaigns? You have to designate one person who will be actually monitoring and executing those campaigns. Tip number 2, it's crucial that you start growing your database as soon as possible, and it's never too late. Even if you have only a couple of hundred contacts in your database, that could be very important if those contacts are high quality contacts, your real prospects or customers. And it's important to actually grow that database one contact at a time. So use every single opportunity to ask for permission from people to receive your emails. For example, at your website, get that permission. When meeting someone in person, at your Facebook page, at your office premises, at various events. Use every single opportunity to expand your database. And the third decision or tip is to sign up for certain web email service. In other words, to choose appropriate technology to use when emailing your e-newsletter. And you might want to use Outlook, for example. Nothing wrong about it. But I have found that using services like MailChimp or Constant Contact or iContact, for example, is really very helpful for me. For example, MailChimp will let you send 12,000 emails to up to 2,000 subscribers completely free forever. There's no time limit. But in my own case, I have found that service like iContact.com serves best my own needs. So you really have to research those services, and there are quite a few more, and then make up your mind. Remember, the one that you choose, you will probably use for quite a while. Tip number 4, comply with anti-spam regulations. It is very important that you check the anti-spam regulations of all countries where you do online business. Do it online on various resources that you can find on Google for each country, or you can consult a legal expert before running your campaign. Note, for example, that the regulation in Canada is very different than the regulation in US, and it is different than the regulation in UK. In Canada, it's, in my opinion, a bit more strict, actually much more strict, and so is the case in UK. In Canada, starting July 2014, there will be new regulations, completely so-called opt-in. In other words, you will need to have not only a pre-existing business relationship with recipients, but you will have to obtain a permission to receive an email. This is called opt-in system. In other words, all email recipients are going to actually have to give you permission. They have to tell you that they do want to receive your emails, which is very different than in some other countries. So it is important that you check the anti-spam regulation in each country. And in most countries, you will need to provide your company's physical address, for example, in the email, not a PO box. And very importantly, you will need to provide an unsubscribe button, and of course to act on unsubscribing people within specified amount of time. Tip number 5, create your own e-newsletter. You do want to have your own e-newsletter. Send it maybe once a month or maybe once a week. Make it visually appealing, and more importantly, make it very useful, very informative. Maybe you will write about some statistics, interesting facts or stats about the industry. Maybe you will offer special discounts, special deals. But in any scenario, make sure that the content of your email does matter for your clients. Also choose an attractive name, like for example, health tips, 1 minute, just those are just examples, 1 minute insight or 1 minute advice or tech trends. Be consistent. Remember, your e-newsletter is like your brand, your identity. So you have to be consistent, which is the case in all branding campaigns, in terms of format and in terms of content. And be regular. Make sure that you send your e-newsletter in a regular time. Maybe, once again, it's every Tuesday or once a month at the beginning of the month. Let me now give you a tour of iContact.com so I can show you how to start your own campaign and create your own e-newsletter on iContact.com. So as you can see now, I am in my iContact account, and I am in the Contacts tab. Here is where I can create various lists of people for various purposes. I can add my contacts, one contact at a time maybe, or I can upload from file, maybe from Excel. I can at any time search my contacts, or maybe even create certain segments based on certain criteria, like for example based on country or based on some other attributes of your contacts. You can also click on the email tab and create your messages. Here's where, if you click here, you can create your message. We'll do it in a few moments. Or you can create a survey, autoresponders, etc. If I click on create a message here, you will notice that I'm being given an option to use so-called message builder, which is actually iContact system to help me create my own e-newsletter. Or I can create text-only email, just with the text, no images. Or I can create from my web page. In other words, I can create a certain web page on my website and then sort of send the content from that web page through my e-newsletter. So that's another approach. In most cases, you will probably click here and use Message Builder, which will give you a couple of different templates. Actually, not just a couple of them. There are many in different categories, and you just need to choose your template, the template that you like, for example, and then just start adding the content, maybe upload your logo, and you're done. So, for example, here is one e-newsletter that I recently created. You can see here I uploaded the logo, my logo here, and you can do it by pressing on the image here. And this is one of the templates that I used, existing templates. I put my message here like you do in a Word document, so I can bold things or unbold, right? And I can, at the end, once I'm satisfied with the content, I can proceed to send, choose my contact list, and that's about it. So the next tip number 6, is to make your subject line stand out. You want to be specific in your subject line, be direct, and to grab people's attention, develop their desire to learn more, to read more, and actually even to act. And how do you do that? Well, a couple of ideas. You gotta, once again, be very specific and get their attention. 5 tips for creating effective Google ads. Last chance to register. Get free advertising or get $50 in advertising, get free ebook on online marketing, etc. Tip number 7, personalize your campaign. In other words, you want to start your email with a personal greeting at the beginning, and you do want to customize your message for different groups, maybe by country, or maybe you want to send special messages to the most important, most loyal customers. So those most loyal customers will actually get a slightly different treatment. Tip number 8, provide a call for action. You remember that in that AIDA communication model, e-newsletter marketing is all about conversion. So you have to provide a strong call for action by putting a visible action buttons on a couple of places in your e-newsletter. Buy now, contact, download this for free, etc. And then take visitors to a special page called a landing page. And you probably remember what a landing page is. The page that is designed to convert people into customers. In other words, the page that is dedicated to sell. Tip number 9, test and optimize. Now that you have run lots of email marketing campaigns, you have to analyze your campaign and track key measurables, like, for example, how many messages did you deliver, how many of those bounced back, what was the percentage of read and open email messages, how many people unsubscribed, how many people clicked through on certain links, pass-on rate or forwards, how many people forwarded your message to their friends, and finally, the most important statistics, it's conversion rate. In other words, say that, for example, you sent 10,000 email messages, but how many customers did you get? How many new customers? How many sales and orders? What was your conversion rate? So those are the 9 tips. Let's kind of do a quick recap. You have to start with a plan. Start growing your database as early as possible. It's never too late. Choose your email and technology service provider. Be aware of very strict anti-spam laws. Create your own e-newsletter. Make sure that your subject line is very attractive. It's very important, the most important part of your message. Personalize and customize your campaigns. Include call for action in each and every email that you send. And finally, test, track, and optimize your campaigns. At this point, I'd like to thank you for watching and keep learning about online marketing. Thank you.